Okay, today I'm going to vibe code a bit. So I have to change the name of the stream. Prospect automation. Okay. Okay. Can you hear me? I will check microphone again. Because sometimes it's quite maybe here. Hello. Sometimes it's cool, very quiet, even too quiet, so you can't hear anything at all. But right now seems to be quite okay. There are some noises from the background, but yeah, I can't eliminate them right now. It's very sensitive. Okay, anyway, coming back to this coding. So I found the API from the freelancer.com. I have my access token already made. Create new application. I have to create a new application there. The idea is, in general, okay, this is my conversation that I had with Hermes. I want to use this API, that one. Oh, they have SDK. To send me new offers and to outreach the new offers if it's possible. So to automate the outreach and looking for new prospects, finding new jobs, new projects on the freelancer.com. So they already have some Python backend. Ah, this is the SDK. Not something for me. I'm not that good with Python. There is no SDK made for the Node.js. Maybe I'll be the first to do this. Okay, key characteristics of Python for authorized access project, bit messages accounts, API access for public data, REST JSON. What you can do: search projects, post projects, hire site, bid on projects, and manage contests and messages. Manage your profile portfolio account data. So you can basically do everything. Caveat: you need to apply for API access. Okay. There are rate limits and some endpoints require paid upgraded account tiers. API is primarily geared toward building apps on top of their marketplace, not scraping it. So what would I do? I want to automate looking for the potential customers, but because every apply costs some bits on their platform, I need to filter it very well. So I will use AI to filter that kind of things, and it should be good. Yeah. So I will be requesting for the new offers. Like I will make some cron job, like exactly the thing that I have here. Like here, what I have for NFJ, JJIT, and research for YT. I'll do exactly the same thing for the freelancer.com. And I will run it daily. also, as it is here. So the front end will be the chat app, the Hermes agent, and the backend will be this API that I will create. And there are some new things, so actually, is it possible to make API requests in the backend style from this agent? If it has cron jobs built in, so how can I securely store API? I'll make zoom it a little bit. How can I securely store? How can I securely store API keys in the Hermes agent? This is the most important question. And can Hermes agent request that API directly, or does it need a backend? Okay, maybe I'll fork conversation. Yes, Hermes can call the freelancer API directly, no separate backend needed. Hermes isn't just a chatbot, it runs shell commands, execute Python node scripts, and make HTTP requests. A backend only becomes necessary if you're building a public app for other users. More on that below. Maybe that's a good idea. Because I would like to create something like an MCP on top of that, just for the sake of training. Okay, direct approach. Store the key securely. Hermes has a dedicated secrets file. API secrets and secrets only. Settings only, never secrets. Okay. Two extra protections are already on by default. Secret redaction. Scan tool. Output before it enters context or logos so keys don't leak into the conversation. Nice. Call the API from a session. Public endpoint. Certain projects work with just the OAuth token. So I think the Hermes is running already on some kind of the node process. Or Rust, I have no idea, but this is the pattern, very similar to node application. On the Python. The agent core is Python. Okay, OpenAI SDK. Everything that does the actual work runs in Python. Reasoning, tools, gateway, cron, delegation, session-db, CLI. It's installed via UV into Python. Okay. Might want for use case for a freelancer API question from error. Nothing changes. The Python script scanning the freelancer API runs directly in the agent's Python environment. No server. And there's the picture if you're writing something specifically for a desktop. How can I catch requests? So what I'm thinking about is creating some kind of the SQLite as database that requires only one file, and after each request to the freelancer.com API, it will save the job offer to this SQLite file, to this database, and it will be checking with this database every time when new connections is made and when it's looking for new prospects. Oh, and I want to see the type of request that I must make, because I'm still not sure how to debug it. I can check the conversation history, and when it fails, he's saving the data in its own log. But there is, I know, maybe there is some official way to debug. I didn't check it actually, but it was not very straightforward. Hermes processes debugging. I'll show you this. So you can check the layer status, troubleshoot, order from CLI path, API, provider keys, tools, Docker terminal, backends, to messaging gateways. Enable verbose logs, run Hermes log level debug, or check to trace dropped variables or find RCP calls. Walk backwards. Inspect execution journey maps from the final error step backwards, instead of reading logs linearly from the top. Isolate config files. Wow, wow! I didn't know that Hermes can debug from these logs. That's also interesting. You should cut it a little bit. Okay. I forgot to check it here. Sorry. Okay, so we can debug Hermes in a different way. Model API calls. When a model API calls fails, Hermes writes the full raw request to Hermes session, the request dump JSON. I pulled the one from the machine. Okay, so this is the previous one. Now the authorization header is already masked. So secret reduction covers dumps too. These dump files are the one place you get the true raw payload. Full message history, tool schemas, and spend to the provider agent log. Every successful API call plus tool call. Hermes log command live. Okay. Quick one. But when I have many, okay, I can filter by session. Okay, can I get session ID in some easy way? Yes, I can. I will test it. So it's Hermes logs session. Okay. We have some warnings, some info, even one error. Agent conversation loop API call failed after 3 tries. Connection error, provider open code Zen, DeepSeek tokens. Okay. Again, connection error. So it looks like very often when I send request to DeepSeek from the Hermes, it's failing, but it have ability to retry this request and use cache. That's very good to know. Hermes logs and session. Other components, gateway desktop, file level. Okay. So this is the first time when I'm using 100% of this Hermes architecture to accomplish something. But anyway, it's good to have it stored in a database so I can visualize it in a different tool using the same data. I already opened this open code session, but I don't think it will handle it. I'll probably have to use Cloud Code. So what I want to do right now is to define the plan, how we're going to approach this, because probably I don't need any backend, but I need some database. Oh, and does Hermes has built-in database. Does the Hermes have its own database where I can store data from multiple sessions? So that's my question. Okay, in the meantime, I will have to check my form, but I have to do it on a separate screen because there is already my token visible. They have 5 business days to approve it. Application name, disk application, using a local app to have a fresh weekly offers. Post and edit projects and freelancer on your behalf. Manage your projects, beats and milestone freelancer.com on your behalf. Post and edit contests on Freelancer on behalf. I don't know what are contests on Freelancer. Manage your contest on Freelancer. Send read messages. View your user and profile information. Okay. Okay, I will check the posting too. Hmm. Okay, I'm filling the form on the side, but I will need some more informations because I have no idea how to do it with Hermes. It's working completely different. If I would have classic backend, maybe I will need to make it anyway. So yes, Hermes runs its own SEDAS SQLite database. It can also use any database you create. Here's the full picture of your actual install. So Hermes is building databases. All SQLite. Yeah, that's great. SQLite is a very good choice because it's very lightweight. You can just copy the file and it should work like out of the box anywhere. And it's super portable, easy to install and super lightweight. And for the single agent, and even if there would be like 5-10 agents, it's still very good choice. If it would be more like 1,000, then it could be good to consider this choice again. But at this point in here, that's perfect. Oh, by the way, I see all the time some guy on Instagram and on YouTube recently too, some long hair guy who's telling that he was consulting for a top 500 worth companies, and he's always showing these MD files, and he even built his own system on top of MD files to work with agents on the corporate level, which is total bullshit, total bullshit. But on the other hand, maybe it's possible because some corporates have such a bullshit inside their structures, and sometimes they can hire people who completely doesn't know what they're doing. So now I maybe it was true what he was doing. So maybe he was really consultant, but he was the crappy one who did it. Because you cannot modify MD files by a multiple agents. They will be all the time. You will have this how to say it. We have one file edited by multiple people. It will always crash on savings. There will be some missing data. It would be such a mess. And he's versioning these files by Git. So even he's using Git, and he would use the multiple agents or even human and the agent working on the same file, like independently. He would have merge conflicts, and it must be crashing somewhere. Anyway, coming back to this SQLite, okay. It has its own state, Kanban, projects, cron executions, verification evidence, okay. Plus non-DB% stores memory. Memory is MD file. Sessions, JSON memory route transcriptions. Okay. Skills all MD files. By the way, it's very good that these are MD files because anyone can make it. But on the other hand, we cannot version it. And recently, I have my this YouTube creator skill, and I got some other skill very nicely done by very successful YouTube channel from my friend. And in the some places would be super complementary, it would complement the things that are missing in my own skill. But I'm still hesitate to integrate it because I must be very careful on each step to integrate these new skills into my own skill. And I'm a bit afraid that it will be messed up. So this is also the way where it could be done with the with the database. And yeah, maybe using the database would be much less lost context. That's the thing. But for my own usage, maybe I will just use Git and version it inside their own folder. Anyway. Yeah, that will be probably the best. Just versioning it in its own folder. Sorry. Coming back to the project. Procedures of where I have my tokens and every single gets its own isolated copies. Where to store your data across sessions. Small durable facts memory store. This is what I inject into every single future turn automatically. So it should be also lean. Perfect for preferences, state facts, conventions, not for bulk data. It's compact text store with a char budget, and I trim it to stay high signal. So it's trimming these memories anyway. That's why we can lose context even just after the start. And if something is really, my agents MD file is super lean, the main one, maybe I can show it. So called agents.md. my file. It has 170 lines. Maybe there is something in the cloud's memory that can overwrite it, and I have my workspaces. By the way, I don't need this anymore. Yeah, editor configuration, my code style, tooling conventions, web browser interactions, my MCP, playwright MCP, the Obsidian, how it's organized, some Solana instructions if it's need, and my own profile skills, the descriptions of my the things that brings my income, my current rate, services, and some autonomous agents. I was trying it because agents can autonomously make some task and earn money from it. My writing style, agent skills. This is what I use for spec-driven development, core rules, intent mapping. So it's when I write any of this, it will use some of these skills that are here mapped. Life cycle. Yeah. Operation rules and memory. So that's my file, and it's maybe I should make it a little bit linear. It's not that big anyway. So we can read and write anywhere to our SQLite databases. Task tracking, this thing that matters, state DB. Yeah, I have my new skill here created, but I want to fork this conversation. Right before I was asking about these things. Can I cache? No. Do Hermes run the process? No. Okay, I will fork this conversation here. Oh, by the way, it looks very nice. You have session, you have main chat, you have the fork one. That's really great. This is very good if you want to keep the context low, or when I also forked it to the different model. But anyway, I want to use the DeepSeek, the free DeepSeek one with high reasoning. It's still good for that kind of the task. So I have to set the redirect URIs in the freelancer.com API settings. What should I set to use it on my local Hermes agent? By the way, hi. How Hermes is authenticated? Is it capable of doing this, or do they have to? Is Hermes agent capable of authenticating using OAuth, or do I need to create separate backend for it? I'm still not sure if the Hermes agent like this is more like just a front end, or more like a full app that it have everything built in. I think it depends on the mode that we are using in it. But yeah, you have the Hermes that is part of that is running in the background all the time, even if you close this app. and this app is like a front end to operate it, the same as their CLI and the same as their web app. If they won't accept my access to the freelancers API, then I will have to run browser MCP to perform these actions, which will cost many tokens. Anyway. Okay, give me a moment. Yes, freelancer.com has a full API, developer.freelancer.com with of 2.0, and I verified their current docs for exactly your question. Short version, you probably don't need to set a redirect API at all. And if you do, Hermes can handle the OAuth dance itself with a tiny throwaway script, no separate backend required. Recommended path off entirely. The doc says explicitly if your application, to zoom it in, you see better, and I'm also not wearing glasses right now. If your application does not need to make requests as a user other than yourself, then you don't need to create an app. Oh, instead you can generate personal access token. Okay. Okay, so with the access token I can have access only to API within my own account, and if I need to access others' accounts or ask someone else, then I would have to set the full app. I think I would set it up anyway if I would want to extend it, but yeah, probably I'll never do it. Anyway, it takes 5 days, so it's good to have it this way open. If your application does not need, okay, already here. Since this is just you, your local Hermes agent, this is the intended route. You logged in, develop freelancer, generate personal access token, store it in hermes.in, freelancer auth token. Okay. I call the API directly with authorization bearer token, freelancer auth 2.0 header. Okay, no redirect to URI, no approval. No 5 business day wait. The docs event say single user client app request get denied. Request to create applications for use by a single user will be denied. Okay, so I cannot make this application anyway. Anyway, I'm curious how kind of applications are based on their own, based on their API. I will check it in a few seconds. So the PAT is the transaction path. If you still want full OAuth, planning a public app later, redirect, callback, and report. Localhost is accepted, the code arrives as code. On the URL, it must exactly register and pass seniority into token exchange. Hermes does not need a separate backend. Hermes isn't a web server on a we're building OAuth callback listener, but it has full terminal access, so it can run the whole flow itself. Like Python script on that port in the background. It opens the authorize. Maybe it would be better for it. Would it use less tokens? Would Hermes use less tokens if it would have built the backend layer first? Okay, you approve it in the browser. The callback catches the code. I don't want to approve it, I want it to run automatically. Anyway, I don't need all tokens land here. Okay, refresh token for renewal. That script only runs once as a setup time. Afterwards, Hermes just uses the stored tokens, no person backend to deploy or maintain. When we set this up, I can write the OAuth bootstrap. So no OAuth for now. and I wanted to store these tokens in some path that I declared before. Yes, meaningfully so. There is the token math because it's the whole story. Why the backend layer wins. Every tool result Hermes is injected into the model context. Now, like in the live session, that content is also reset on every later turn, and in a cron run, it's refetched and reread from scratch on every tick. So the question is how much raw data enters context per run. No backend. Agent calls the API directly. Response 20 to 50 projects, budgets, description, freelancer names, timestamps. It's easily 15 to 40 kilobytes of JSON. That whole blob lands in the context as the result test cause input tokens to read and every follow-up tool that resends it. Backend layer. Scripts, fetches, filters, dedups, writes SQLite. That's what I want. The agent sees only the scripts std out, 3 new projects. That's a few hundred bytes instead of tens of kilobytes, roughly 50-100x reduction per run. And in compound on every cron trick. This is very important information. And I'll instantly add it to my community order. That screenshot. Yeah. General discussion. Okay. By the way, join Agentic Architect AI Lab. You can be in the community for free. If you want the lessons, you can have the extra tier, but I think it's worth it. You have the basics of the software development and the basics of the vibe coding and calling with the agents. So if you're new to this or you need someone to verify how you're working on it, if you can do it a bit better, or if you're behind and you don't even know this, you can check up it by talking with us or by learning lessons in the classrooms. But let's go back to our task. Update ready, one new change a variable. Not yet. Okay. Zero token extreme. Humus cron job has a no agent true mode where the job is just a script. It runs the polyar std out is delivered verbatim with no LLM involved at all. Poll every 30 minutes, 48 times a day at 0 token cost. The agent only gets involved spending tokens when the script reports something worth reasoning about. The one-time cost of writing the backend is a few thousand tokens once. Yeah, anyway, I will need AI to filter these offers because there are details that I will not catch by any regular expressions. Yeah, exactly. That layer would look like for you. Exactly, that's what I want. Wow, really, this DeepSeek is better than I thought, and it's a free model. This is exactly what I needed. To use harvest.in token. So then one cron job, no agent. Pause and stays silent when nothing's new. And the second agent driven job. Or just an ad hoc session. Reasons to select from or status new. Only when you ask. The freelancer platform APIs skill. The freelance platform API skill already prescribes exactly this pattern. Oh, sorry, I already have it. So I've got the endpoints and schema ready. Want me to build the Polar plus DB plus cron setup now? I can have it ready before you generate the path, so the moment the token exists, it just works. What's the path? Okay, so what do I want? Personal access token. Okay. So what do I want? I need a backend that will pull the new job offers with the specific keyword that I enter. I want all the results be filtered using AI. So I want to filter all the offers paid in Indian rupees or all the offers targeted for India. There are also some offers with the extremely low paid. Offered from India or targeted for India. So suggest architecture for that filtering. Yeah, actually maybe I don't need AI at all here. I will save my access token. Freelancer, this one. Make placeholder for access token in the Hermes and file. So I'll just paste it, it won't have to figure it out again and again. What I'm worried about Hermes is that it would at some point it can have so many skills and it will start invoking skills that could not be designed for the use case that I'm currently working on. This is the one thing I'm worried about Hermes in the future few weeks, if I use it heavily. And for the chats I use it very often, only if I need something much stronger. Then I use my cloud with subscription. And when I'm coding with the weaker models, then I use the open code and I would just describe it here. And weaker models, GPT 5.6 is also in that category. In general, everything under Fable and Opus is the lower model, even if it's almost equally powerful. Okay, we're here for 1 hour. Okay, first, does it make the placeholder? Client ID? What's my client ID? One more thing that I want to fork from here is I want to know which apps use freelancers.com API. So I'll fork it from here. Read aloud, copy. Where can I fork it? How can I make a fork? Why it's not? I could do it before, but I cannot do it now. Or I cannot fork from the fork. Oh my god, that would be sad. Yeah, I think I cannot make fork from the fork. Oh no. Oh no. Anyway, let's come back here. So I will make fork from the main branch. How can I catch requests? No. Show other messages. No. Okay, so I want to fork it from here. And you see, you can make branch. But you cannot make sub branches. Okay. Okay, let's use GPT. Give me the list of the applications that are using freelancer.com API. Try to estimate the number of monthly users, or MRR. For top 5 of them. Maybe top 3. Crap, it's so dark here. Does it help? Not that much. So yeah, I should add some source of light behind me somewhere to not make it look like I'm staying in the basement. Okay, I have to update my API key, so I will hide my screen for a moment. Your access token here. Okay, so I don't need client ID if I don't have the app, it's only related to the half login. Okay, so my access token is saved. I can show you the screen again. That one, or that one, that one. I don't know why it's flipped. And I'll resize this image just for the future purposes. Or maybe I just duplicated. It will look a bit weird, but whatever. Okay. Move. Sorry, I do it on the live one. Okay, now it should be good. It's not. Anyway. Yeah, it's good. Okay, so now I have my API saved. plan how to do it. Where is my prompt? I need the backend. Good question. The answer shapes the whole architecture. Quick check if you want to freelancer API actually exposes and filtering only employer country. I will lay out the design. Currency, employer location. For the key endpoint, let me read the active project search section in detail to configure the response fields. Wow. Verified everything against actual API docs. Here's the key insights first. Year 3 India Signal don't need the same machinery and the architecture exploits that. The 3 signals maps to 3 mechanisms. Paid in INR currency code on each project, deterministic drop, no AI. Okay, great. Offered from the user country details. Project returns employer country code. That's great. So I have main filtering done. Actually, I could just pull these offers every day, every morning, feed the new offers, and then have another cron job that is just reading these offers from the date of today and filtering the one that I should apply for. But I have to find some schema of the job offers I would apply, and maybe it won't be regular. Maybe. Target for India text. Indian freelancers only, must be India based, Hindi required, Indian market, group UPI. Description technology classified, parse LLM tiny. So yeah. What is UPI? Only the third signal generally needs AI. The other two are exact Factorum API hands you, so burning LLM tokens on them would be wasteful. Okay, so right now I have the way to replace entire frontend with just one cron job made by Hermes, who is just pulling the offers, filtering them, no AI, no frontend, and sending this to my Telegram after. That's interesting. That's the new way of doing things. The chat is the new interface to interact with the systems. Just like talking with the assistant that is right beside you. It's just working for you. Next thing, we will need the voice layer. Why this ordering matters? Stage 1 shrink stage 2. Most Indian market offers die for free on currency or employer country, so the LLM batch is small. The AI only needs overseas ambitious survivors. AI is the catch-all, not the primary filter. When the employer country data is missing, it happens the LLM still catches. We are mobile-based startup or payment in ERN via API. So API is some kind of their application for payments. From the text alone, one batch call, not one per projects. 20 survivors fit in a single prompt. With structured JSON output, roughly 2-3k tokens per run. I don't know, there's a Hermes proxy. Exclude reason, so this is good. If you have already project schema, ID, title, budget, but the budget, sometimes they write budget per hour, or sometimes it's like a full budget per project. So budget is the number and currency is the text. Why they write it such a text, description text, URL text? Why did they group the schema in such a weird way? Why they not make it in the new line? Title, description, URL, budget, currency, employer, country, fetched at. This is status, new, kept, excluded. There will be more to this, but yeah, right now let's use it just for the filtering. Exclude reason, employer in AI India null, AI verdict, raw JSON classifier for auditing. Exclude reason. Exclude reason is the important column. You can audit every decision tuned to AI prompt against real misclassifications and the flip rules without touching code. The project did not end. Keywords, React, Next.js. I would add Sanity.js. Perfect. This is perfect. One assumption that I'm designing around. You want India related offers excluded. Does the natural reading filter all the offers by if you exclude, if you actually meant keep only India, it's one line config flip, nothing structural changes. But there are probably some more regions to exclude. I've seen something from Philippines, but probably not for web developers. There are some people who want like only US based people. Non-linear rate of excluded, token economics, your early concern, polling tick, 0 LM tokens, no agent cron, application classified cron, also model agnostic. You can point in a cheap model or the free one you're running now. He knows what I'm doing. He knows what I'm doing. Since it's a binary yes no with a reasoning task, I'm going to build it. I will need just two things from you: the path, the directory. I can have all the schema and both cron jobs. I want to make it in Nest.js. I will generate the app in the separate session. Make me a prompt. To do it. For architecture details. Etc. details. Yeah, because I don't trust DeepSeek when it comes to the coding. It's not the best for coding tasks. I was already using it, but maybe they already upgraded it to this July's version, but I have no idea which version is it. Maybe I should ask it about new session, DeepSeek Flash, which version, which version of the model are you using? Give me full details. Let's see which DeepSeek is here. Okay. And the two things, drop the verified search endpoint details into the skill reference. Wow, it's super good. Super good. It's better than GPT. So the future sessions has them. Then give you the self-contained prompt. Wow. Searching can be verified from developersfriends.com docs. Wow. Let me verify the reference file is still coherent after the patch. I replace heading line, reference file coherent. Now here's the self-contained prompt. Copy everything inside the block below into the new session. Great. But it assumed that I'm using the Hermes for the next task. 2 notes before we paste it. The LLM.model default, I put in the config, DeepSeek Flash 3 is a placeholder. Whatever model the new session has configured will work since basically an API key are configurable. If you would rather use your Hermes proxy for the AI stage, point basically add its local OpenAI compatible endpoint and leave API key empty. Yeah, apply. What? If you would rather use your Hermes proxy for the AI stage, point basically at its local OpenAI. So, API key empty. I want to use it with Hermes proxy. with DeepSeek as you assumed. This is perfect. Want me to also save this prompt to projects Hermes Financial prompt so you can find it later without scrolling. Perfect. Yeah, save it. Then save it in the project directory. Perfect. Perfect. It went above my expectations. Now I have to hope that the cron jobs from the Hermes will be working correctly. It's so dark here. I should do something for my background to make it look better. Okay, let's leave it like that, so it's not that extreme darkness. Oh, I almost had a heart attack. I thought he'd show you my API key. Whoa. Good call. Let me verify how Hermes proxy actually names models and what port it defaults so the config is right the first time. The proxy only supports Nose and XAI. Right now, neither logged in, so DeepSeek won't flow through it as is. Let me check what DeepSeek actually exists on the machine before giving you a config that would silently fail. XAI? Why XAI? Z.ai is the one I would like to use if it wouldn't work with this DeepSeek. Okay, let me check if the keys are actually populated without printing values. Oof. It's perfect that it have this restriction. Now the open code provider is configured since that's the path the current model runs on. Nice, but important finding. Hermes proxy only supports Node and XAI upstreams, and neither is logged in. Why XAI? So DeepSeek model through it won't work. Your actual DeepSeek access through the open code Zen provider. Let me check how's that wired since that's the real endpoint by calling it. Well, let me find the actual provider. The provider is a built-in open code Zen. Let me find basic URL key finding. So, okay. But you actually DeepSeek accessing the open code provider, that's why the verification runs on, and its endpoint is known. You verify it works with your key before writing the config. Config DeepSeek first available open code endpoint, and the key works. You verify a real chat completions call against it, so the config is graduated correctly, is guaranteed correctly. Wow. Verify end-to-end DeepSeek v4 flash free answers correctly on your key. Now the honest config files would look like. Important correction to my area assumption. Hermes proxy. So it's stuck in some kind of a loop. Base URL. Okay, it's some my API key. I will not show you this. Okay. Reference.com job Finder backend for Hermes. You're building a self-contained backend that poses. Okay, this is my new prompt. Both files are in place. Here's the summary, the config with a correction to my area assumption. LLM base, API key, okay. It's empty. Luckily. Model, projects per run 100, batch size 15. Okay, but I can run this backend that is already pre-filtered, save it in my database, then pull only today's records from this database. Then through API, through my backend, I can set one endpoint in the backend to sync jobs, to sync the job offers to my database. So that one trigger would be probably enough. And it will have built in all of the filters. Actually, I don't know if I save any tokens here. I will save tokens because it don't have to. No, if I would have the database here correctly only for the agent, then okay, I'm saving it because I don't call AI when it's calling the API, but I have to call AI when I'm filtering from this database. And I will be filtering, and I can filtering through the same API. So it will already return only today's job offers. So I'm already saving a little bit on this. No, yeah, but the say is free. I'm optimizing budget for something that's already for free. Yeah, anyway, this cron jobs recently failed for me for strange reasons. Yeah, let's see how it will work and optimize it later on. What actually works if you open consent provider endpoint is the very thing this session runs on. 61 models present, completions with the model, then okay. So the config points at open consent directly, and API key stays empty because the poll PI falls back to the open consent API key, and var that Hermes already loads from. Now we can compare Hermes invariant. Yeah, I'll change the architecture anyway. I will assume that the human is filtering it from the API. So I didn't need, maybe I didn't need this backend at all, just database would be enough. Because it would be only in the instructions, but still there is some kind of a reasoning. Yeah, anyway. Less records. Saved files, config JSON, above verified, link okay, fully built prompt, LLM path. I updated the setup prompt MD in two places. The LLM section now documents the open code Zen endpoint of Hermes proxy, and the verification step says the token LLM are already configured working, so the new session can go straight to dry run against the live API. One thing to know, the prompt tells the new session to read the existing config JSON rather than recreate it. You paste prompt in the new session, no extra step is needed. Freelance platform APIs. Actually, I would like you to rename this skill. breaking anything. Okay, and I think that would be very close to the end of its own context. Session. Okay, so we don't know which DeepSeek V4 Flash is it. Mm-hmm. Would I need on my phone reasoning effort high? I think I would. I don't ask about the super tasks, about super easy tasks directly from my phone to the Hermes. Change default to high. Okay, and this is the research about the platform that I already use, freelancer.com API. Sorry for jumping. Now it's break itself. Up13 for delete the old skill with Up13 freelancer.com. Chrome. Okay, so I can delete skills very safely. Totally, I look like I'm sitting in the basement. Oh. Crap, I hope it won't break any other skills. That's why DeepSeek is great. It's sometimes is exceeding my expectations and then it suddenly fails. I wanted to double check with this, with GPT. because it replaced VLAN APIs. Don't only verify, don't change it without asking me. Don't change settings without asking me, because it always, this new models always try to apply some changes by itself, like they can find something and they would try to fix it immediately if they think that it should be fixed, and sometimes if they hallucinate some small change that is not correct, they will change it and it can mess up some many other different things, so they need extra guardrails. Okay, here seems to be okay. Existing projects that are using the same API, there is no public freelancer API marketplace or API client directory, so nobody as freelancer can reduce a complete list of web applications. So applications approved privately, and the API does describe integrity types. So iPhone 3 public verifiable products projects, my freelancer API, Pipe Dream, evidence, estimated monthly active users, super low. Public work template integrations for the freelancer API, for example, Monday freelancer and PM freelancer. What? What? Pipe Dream, joint workday. What do you want to automate with NPM and freelancer? No credit card required. What is, by the way, Pipe Dream? Some automation builder. Glowrance. Let's see. Stop refreshing the freelancer configurable letter. A auto bidder window work. So I can have multiple profiles. That's interesting. Maybe they have some free trials, so I can keep creating new profiles every 30 days or something like that. No, that would be... I would have to fill all of the details of my job history every 30 days. It can be automated also, but there is no history of the account in that case, which would be good if I don't have any history in the freelancer before. But if I will finally have some history on the freelancer.com, then it would be much better to keep this history there. It's getting dark, super dark. Now I'm totally like working in the basement. And let's check that repo. Freelancer.com notifier. What? Is it based? Brian K. Who's the Brian K? So is it like the GitHub for the real software developers? Yeah, wow. GitLab evolved. I didn't use it for a long time, but yeah, that's true. That's a good idea because GitHub is a total bullshit for non-technical people to show things that are completely bullshit. Just people host them MD files, and it's down all the time, and many people migrate out of GitHub. So finally, GitLab may be a good solution. Found its own niche. What's that? Kia GeForce. Real estate CRM. Static demo Marlon Brands. 2025, 2 months ago. So he's also, or they are also shipping quite fast. How can I see their website? Laravel, so they're a web developer group. MiPay, TazaPi, Rotax, Telegram bot, Laravel. So they're like some kind of Laravel fans. Probably some old school developers. Because only the old school developers love Laravel. And it's nothing wrong with it. It's like a complete backend platform from what I've seen. What's interesting? Real estate CRM. I'll have to save that project for the future. Why? That's interesting. So again, sorry, I got out of the track. So this is some freelancer from Brian K. Let's check him. Freelancer, Brian K. Brian K. No, it's only K. Kenya. Project managers, Kenya. Let's check the first one. It's kind of cheap. No reviews, so it's not that one. Please start using webcam. Great. Maybe it will be some success story, biosciences. Tangobio. Who's David Nathan? Scalar. Did I talk with him? Sometimes I have people that I don't really remember. Whatever. And sometimes I also don't people that I don't know at all, but can be a good contact. Anyway. Is there any freelancer? Free trial. Web developer. Okay, we got him. Independent designer, developer, web software engineer, flight operator, web designer. Some have much longer history than me. Any success story? Can I connect with him? No, I don't follow him. Maybe it's worth staying doing passionate, commerce, not much about AI too. So this is probably some project that doesn't, maybe its own automation. Pipe dream, okay. Nothing worth looking at. Oh, I can branch from this conversation too. Anyway, close. Yeah, that's the thing. I use DeepSeek for that. I should use DeepSeek. Is sometimes one times I also was modifying some config file with DeepSeek, and it made some key in the object that didn't match the schema used in this by this project, so it just hallucinated some key that seems to be reasonable for him. So it's super unpredictable. Yeah, but anyway, all of the models hallucinate in the unpredictable ways. That's why here is the option. They have this mode of agents, how they call it. It's like a team of agents where they cooperate together, and there's one top agent that is taking the results from the few more agents that you were set up there. So I have GPT there, I have this DeepSeek, and I think I had the GLM, but I'm not sure. I have to disable this GLM because I have some free through NVIDIA, and it's super slow, and sometimes it hits timeout. The skill says present access token do not expire. Critical document authenticator header is considered with the official API. The skill recommends and appear with freelancer official docs. The official Python SDK use freelance. No, it's okay. It's okay. So what I want to do now, how did I call it? Freelancer app? Yes. Called. So where was it saved? It's saved somewhere, not this one. Freelancer, define your personal something. Where did it save it? It's not Freelancer app. Where does it save at? Session, so I can skip to projects. Is it here? No. Okay, close the session. I don't need it. And that one too. Projects? Projects Hermes Freelancer. Does it make sense? Yeah, it makes sense. So RMR, we will delete this. How did it call it? Freelancer app. So it's in Hermes. By the way, I want to see what's here. CSV, okay, it's the freelancer and code. Open the Visual Studio Code here. Okay, how long is the stream now? Maybe I should end it right here. Okay, so what would I do now to start development of this application? Okay, I was logged out. Sorry, I have to disable your view. Sign in again. Continue. Authorize. Build something great, of course. Okay, first thing that I should do here is git init. Okay, now I have available here all of the tabs for the Git versioning system. Added all. I'll zoom in just so you can see, not because I'm blind. Initial commit with the starting prompt. Okay, and I will continue from here. First commit is here. Okay, but I will not use Python. So the first thing, Opus X high and agent skills. Specify. Oh, sorry. I dropped these two files here. Can I drop it like that? No. I have to mention them. I'll zoom in so we can see too. Here are my initial docs of what I want to build. Maybe I should make agents.md here too. Not yet. So the first thing, I want to make backend in Nest.js, not in Python. Node using Python. Yeah, so that will be the first thing. Okay, bypass permissions so it can read everything. So now I'm curious if it will prepare a plan for many stages or just one stage, because I don't want to one-shot it. I want to make it step by step, be on every step of the development and check what it's doing, so it won't get off the track and I won't have to reprompt it all again from scratch. Yeah, and first I wanted to create this base of the project, because I'm also not so fluent in Nest.js. I was always working with Next and with Node and Express, but I see Nest.js everywhere right now. I see that many people from the web development and people who are, as me, the front-end heavy, they kind of swap into this Nest.js because the same language and architecture of the web app is exactly the same, and you're working with the framework that is based on the same basics of the web development in the same language as front-end developers use, and it's very well structured. You have very nicely made controllers, API endpoints. It's much well documented, much better structured than how it is in Express.js and with Next.js. Next.js is just the add-on to the front end, where here it's natively made for it. Okay. One-shot CLI. No, the one-shot CLI. Long-running service. Context, Nest commander, note this mailball, runs once, prints, give offers to SD out exists, Hermes cron drives real SHIM, closest to the original contract, zero idle resource use, simplest to verify. Long running service, REST plus Use REST API in SJS server with schema poll internally every 30 minutes. Not need for polling. You would need a process manager to keep it alive. Hybrid CLI plus API. Both entry points over one shared service layer. JS poll. Let's do hybrid. Because I don't understand the first one, how it can. It just probably is just a single start of applications with Node. I don't know, I'm not sure what was the first solution would look like. This is something new. How should the SQLite layer be built? Schema is already fixed by the setup prompt. Better SQLite raw SQL recommended. Asynchronous zero config, one native deb. Drizzle ORM, type ORM, the Nest.js canonical choice. Entities repository, their integration, heaviest option. Decorators, metadata, reflection. Now let's make it simple. Types empty, now small routine. Now let's make it simple. Wow! No, what I want the Hermes to be, so I can push directly to the Telegram from this app. But I don't want to build the next layer of it, I want to just trigger it from Hermes. No, I can choose many. No. Testing unit test on the filter core. Units end to end, files mode. Okay, so we're making the plan more detailed. Okay, I will cut it here, 2 hours. Let's continue in the next session.